Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Beta 400, the brown skin humor. Come back at you with a new type of video intro. And this is another tribute, praise, salute, and approval video intro of awesome YouTubers, content creators, and just awesome people in quote-unquote general. Yeah, this is vastly similar to my tribute to the deceased people, but I decided to do a whole nother one for YouTubers and content creators and other awesome people who are of course still alive and in my opinion doing great things. And the very first one on this list, which the link will be in the description box below, and the larger video will follow this one, and that is my salute and praise of predator poachers and CC units. Yeah, these are quote unquote, as you heard from the titles, these are movements and groups of peoples in YouTube channels, YouTube and social media channels dedicated to exposing pedophiles, child diddlers, predators, and getting them out and doing everything in their power to get them off the street, whether it's getting them to admit to their wrong and promise and embarrassing and humiliating them and traumatizing them so they'll never do it again, or if the person, he or she, mostly he, is uncooperative, they can just call the police. They can get their license numbers. They can just call the police and let the police take them and get them off the street, which is usually how most of their episodes end. It rarely ever ends the first way, with the person admitting he or she, mostly he was wrong. The very first one, which will actually be part of my Doug talks and rants, political stuff, political and current event stuff, current and past event stuff. My first one, the one that got me into this, was the popular YouTuber EDP445 being exposed as a pedophile, as he was, quote, as the memes say, he was caught in 4K trying to meet up with a little girl for sex, which he hilariously claimed, which is now a meme, that he tried to meet her for a cupcake. But yeah, this got me. While it was handled poorly, because EDP445 is still free and not in jail, I love what they did. I love the interrogation and how they straight up owned, exposed, and humiliated him live on TV. I would never condone public humiliation and bullying like that, but if you're a pedophile and a child diddler and a creep with no sympathy, you deserve it, man. You deserve it. I wish they would have finished it, and wish they would have called the police and got him off the streets. He's still roaming free. Now he's banned from YouTube and other social media platforms, but he's on Instagram and TikTok, which angers me. But my full-length rant on him will be in the description box below. There'll also be a short narration on my Doug A798 channel for people like for people who want to see the for people who want to see the long version. For people who want to see the narration picture version. I'm not sure if I'll use EDP445's picture though. May just use a movie or video cartoon of mine. A picture of a movie, video game, or cartoon of mine. I don't know. But anyway, that's what this intro is. So with that being said, let's get started right now.
everybody. It's time for another real life superhero salute, praise of awesome people. Of awesome people type video, and this time I'm looking at the superhero team, the Bay Coast Guardians, the Bay Coast the Bay Coast Guardians team, which of course is located in St. Petersburg, Florida, USA, and are quote unquote still active. They don't really have a quote unquote leader. They don't really have a quote unquote leader, but the number one guy, one of the number one guys of this leader is superhero, the Good Samaritan, who I first heard about in the top 10 superheroes, the top 10 real life superheroes video. The Good Samaritan. One thing I like about the Good Samaritan is, just like me, when it comes to his real life quote unquote superhero gimmick, he doesn't have the big budget jobs the other real life superheroes like Master Legend, Night Vigil, and Razorhawk have. He doesn't have the big time jobs like they do. So his luck is very realistic, very quote unquote realistic, consisting of nothing consisting of basic street clothes. He wears a quote unquote sleeveless. He wears a cool sleeveless hoodie with a t-shirt underneath, gloves. The most flashy thing about him would be his glasses, blue jeans, and high top. Or it looks like high top. Oh yeah, and his footwear, which looks like Chuck Taylor's, and the other the quote unquote good Samaritan, and when it comes to the Good Samaritan, according to superhero.wiki, which the links will be in the description box below, this guy was originally from Louisiana. His first outreach mission was on Skids Row in Los Angeles in June of 2010. Quote unquote 10. Not much is known about his superhero career, other than he was part of previous teams such as the Pacific Proctorate, the Extreme Justice League, and the California Initiative Los Angeles. Another thing notable about him, he was featured in the 2012 reality series. I remember this reality series, Stan Lee's Academy of quote unquote heroes. So the Good Samaritan. Then you got the next guy. And by the way, before I continue with the other quote unquote, superheroes, I love the Bay Coast Guardians gimmick. Not only do they look like superheroes, they look like super and action-based heroes. People like Bruce Willis, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold quote unquote Schwarzenegger, and their quote unquote gimmick is a cross between One Punch Man, the Japanese animes and manga One Punch Man, and My Heroes Academia, two of my favorite animes and manga, G.I. Joe, and a modernized Marvel and DC, quote unquote Marvel and DC comics. The other guys on this list are Impact, Jaguar, Mercy, the female member, Warden, who I think Warden is the founder, and the Orange Wombat. And the 2018 team consisted of The 2018 roster consisted of superhero Econ, who left the group but is still a quote-unquote active superhero. Now for one of the coolest members with one of the coolest costumes, that's Impact. This guy right here, this guy right here is awesome. This guy right here is quote unquote this guy right here is awesome. This guy is like a cross between, once again, My Heroes Academia and the One Punch Man animes, and the various action Hollywood action heroes, and especially Curtis Stryker from the video game Mortal Kombat, the police officer from the video game Mortal Kombat is who this guy's costume reminds me of. And this guy has not only an awesome costume, he has an awesome resume. When it comes to equipment, he has tactical likes, a tool kit, shield, and first aid kit, and he has martial arts experience. He's good at first aid, CPR, and also great at de-escalating quote unquote fights. His backstory is, of course, ever since he was young. His backstory, according to reallifesuperhero.wiki, is ever since he was young, he had always had a desire to help people, and his parents emphasized the importance of charitable giving. So this guy was born to be a real life superhero. He grew up wanting to make the world a better place, and he spent his time volunteering at soup kitchens and working with the disabled, as well as volunteering a year in American Corps. Oh, and this is one of my favorite parts. He spent many years training in traditional Shotokan, Okawana, Goju, karate, as well as Aikido, two of my favorite martial arts, and karate is one of my best martial arts. He also trained in life guarding, first aid, CPR, and wilderness first aid. Impact first donned his mask in 2015 while completing graduate school. About a month after joining the real life superhero movement, he contacted the awesome Mr. Extreme of the Extreme Justice League to set up a version of that team in North Carolina. He later relocated to St. Petersburg, Florida in June of 2017, joined by the Bay Coast Guardians as patrol coordinator, successfully petitioning to make it the first team in 2000. According to 2020, the Extreme Justice League leadership decided to downsize its team to being solely located in San Diego, and all former officially teams, including Bay Coast Guardians, became quote unquote independent. I guess this is where he left what's his name, Impact, along with another superhero named Nightbug and a female one named Rock and Roll of the California Initials. They were co-hosts of Heroes 101, a live stream show aimed at both real life superheroes and non-real life superheroes. A lot. I wonder if it's still quote unquote around. Is this show still around? Well, anyway, also the final one, while in North Carolina, the homeless took to calling him the Spaghetti Man due to him often passing out cans of spaghetti, often bringing cans of spaghetti when he came to feed the quote unquote homeless. So then you got the next guy. You got the next guy, Jaguar. You got the next guy, Jaguar, who's giving me Deadpool, Deathstroke. He's giving me Deadpool, Deathstroke, and Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. what you call it. Nothing much is known about this guy. Nothing much is known about this guy other than that. He's a former Kansas City resident, and he was a member of the now, I think now defunct Team Justice Inc., and has worked with other real life superheroes, including the late great superhero Asteriori, Dark Guardian, and Zimmer, and quote unquote Zimmer. He became an official member of the Extreme Justice League member on December 15th, 2000, quote unquote 18, and I think he's still part of the team. He's part of both the Bay City Guardians and what's his name. Not much is known about him other than that he doesn't like pettiness, non-victimless criminals, and poverty. He likes to fight crime and promotes activism in the St. Petersburg's quote unquote area. Next person is Mercy. The only female member of the group. Not much is known about her. She has a Facebook page. She has a quote unquote a Facebook fan page, a Facebook quote unquote oh yeah, she has a Facebook profile, a Facebook profile page, but not much is known about her other than that she joined the Bay City Guardians in 2017. I think she has an awesome costume. The only other stuff known about her is that just like Jaguar, she hates petty non-victimless criminals, poverty, fights crime, and promotes activism in the St. Petersburg area. Yeah, not much is known about her. Then we got the Warden. My opinion, he has the lamest costume, but I admire the creativity. And he, of course, I like him. The most. Well, not the most, but I respect him the most because he was the guy who, quote unquote, created the Bay City, the Bay Coast Guardians. According to his history, he began patrolling the downtown and old northeast section of St. Petersburg at the beginning of 2016 in both full combat suit and civilian attire, often providing subsistence to the local homeless population. The Warden decided to abandon his solo operations at the beginning of 2017, instead forefronting the creation of the Bay Coast Guardian, a real-life superhero group dedicated to patrolling the Pinellas and Hillsborough area. He hopes to one day eradicate the violence and homelessness in his town and make it a better place. After Impact joined the group in 2017, the team became the first official Extreme Justice League official. It has since, of course, like I said in previous, split from that league when the Extreme Justice League decided to focus exclusively on San Diego rather than as a nation of whole. And according to he was inspired by the most notable and most badass superhero, Phoenix Jones to become a real life superhero. And his costume it draws design originally drew heavily upon another superhero named Geist, who is the creator of a group called the Great Lakes Alliance and resides in Rochester, Minnesota. This is where he got the inspiration for his costume, as well as several detective books he's been reading at the time, including the Dresden Files. He's also a fan of Marvel's Iron Man. Iron Man. His abilities includes close quarter combat. He has pepper, gel, smoke grenades, therma, low light equipment, ASP extendable baton, Bakken, VHF, UHF radio scanners, and zip ties. And he focuses on patrol, outreach, and activism. And he has two Facebook pages. One is his account, and the other is a personality page, similar to quote unquote me. So yeah. Then the next guy on this list is one of the coolest members of the group. Not much is known about him, but he has one of the coolest costumes of the group, alongside Impact, Samaritan, and Econ and Jaguar, and that is the Orange Wombat. Orange Wombat, also who is a real life super operating out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Nothing is known about him other than that he was first announced as a member of the group on August 18, 2018, and received his official recruitment patch in December of that year. Nothing's known about him, but this guy has the coolest costume ever. Nothing is known about his martial arts experience, background, or besides activism in the St. Petersburg area and fighting crime. Nothing is known about his nothing is really known about his superhero career. He's like the newest guy. To quote unquote newest and latest guy to join. But love this guy's costume and creativity, and hope to meet him and the rest someday. Then this guy is still a real life superhero, but he's not part of the quote unquote team anymore, and that of course is the superhero known as Econ. This guy has a quote unquote Facebook personality, a Facebook quote unquote, actually an actual Facebook account, not a personality page. He used to be a member of the Bay Coast Guardian. Now he's quote unquote independent. Love his costume. He reminds me of something from the modernized Marvel, DC Comics, One Punch Man, My Heroes Academia, and of course G.I. Joe, and the action movies of the 90s, action movies and action stars of the 90s and quote unquote 80s, and has one of the coolest costumes. Yeah. So but other than that, nothing is known about it. Other than that, his foe is apathy, and and he's still listed as being active. So this was my salute of the Bay Coast, the quote unquote Bay Coast Guardians. I'm happy to see that this superhero group, unlike the others I have just recently discovered, are from YouTube videos from 5 to 6 years ago. So a lot of those superheroes and a lot of those groups weren't active. Happy to see this one is still active, and hopefully they continue to do what they do, and hopefully in my travels I meet and get to work with these guys on various projects of theirs and quote unquote of mine. So this was my salute and praise of the Bay Coast Guardians. You don't want to hear the rest of them. Oh, and once again, to look up these guys because there's an interview, there's a long YouTube interview which I haven't watched yet, but I put it in my watch later list to watch. That will be in the description box below for those of you who wants to learn more about these group guys. guys learn more about these guys, but the superhero page and everything else will be in the description box below the Wikipedia website. Well, you don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.